More than 900,000 people from more than 300 tribes. These are members of Brazil's indigenous communities. Coronavirus is spreading fast among them, and now they're struggling to cope with disease.
They had a specific ward for indigenous people, for shamans, for us to perform our rituals and our medicines, but there's nothing like that here. We have to go through other hospitals for a referral. When you get there, they don't put on the documents that we're indigenous.
This hospital in Manaus has a designated area for treating indigenous patients, but doctors say the biggest problem is not here.
The disease is spreading into the interior, and now it's going to hit the municipalities, the river communities and the indigenous. In the case of indigenous people, they'll be brought here. And why do we have an indigenous ward? Because we need to learn to treat people that are differently, and to value what's ours, what's from the Amazon. We're the state with the highest concentration of indigenous in Brazil, the highest concentrations of indigenous in the world.
NGOs say the death toll among indigenous people in Brazil rose from 28 to nearly 200 in just 1 month, and they expect the number to rise. We spoke to SONIA, GUAJAJARA, who is in the city of Imperatriz, deep in Amazonia. She says many communities are fearing extermination.
There is an increase in illegal miners and loggers, and they bring in the risk of infection. We don't have the privilege to care for the pandemic alone. We have to do this and at the same time keep on fighting with historical problems we face that were never resolved, like deforestation and invaders in our territory.
Deforestation has also increased in the past months compared to previous years. Illegal miners and loggers are pushing deeper into the jungle. Brazil's president has made it clear he wants to open up the rainforest for business, and the discourse is an incentive to those who want to expand Brazil's agricultural frontier. A video released by the Supreme Court during an investigation against the president shows his environment minister expressing the government's plans.
We need to make an effort while we are in this calm moment in terms of press coverage, because they are only talking about COVID, and push through and change all the rules and simplify norms.
Environmental groups say the government wants to move forward with a legislative agenda that will weaken safeguards against the incursion on indigenous lands. And for these communities, it means their livelihood is seriously at risk, threatened not only by a pandemic that continues to spread, but also by a government that is ignoring their calls for help. Teresa, Al Jazeera.